Before I continue on, I want to point out quickly. I was talking about charisma earlier. 2001 is a movie that has no charisma. I love 2001, and it's amazing and audacious and bold and crazy and bonkers. But none of the actors have any charisma at all. They're not supposed to. But that's one of the things that makes 2001 such a maddening, frustrating experience for a lot of people, is because they're used to movies putting characters and actors that are extremely charming. Um, and charismatic, and 2001 refuses to do that. So it's almost the opposite. 2001 is in some ways the opposite of Gilda. Gilda is a movie that is drenched in charisma and is about charisma, but 2001 has no charisma at all. So the voyeurism thing, I don't want to kind of overdo it, but like right at the beginning, you'll notice one of the first things we see about Balin is he watches the floor of the casino from his important office, and there's several moments where characters look down and they can control the sound. You can just push a button and the whole thing goes silent. Because like L.B. Jeffries in Rear Window, he's powerful because he can see without being seen. And of course, you, the audience, are also watching a movie, but the people in the movie don't know that you're watching them. And so you are also seeing without being seen. But this movie is very much about uh, watching a woman with other men. And this kind of ups the stakes. We're in Blue Velvet territory here, because of course what Jeffrey in Blue Velvet does is he hides in the closet and he watches this. I don't want to call it a sex scene, but whatever that encounter is between Dennis Hopper and Isabella Rossellini, this kind of feels like rape, but this bizarre sexually drenched scene that isn't exactly, I don't know what it is. Um, but that crazy scene between Dennis Hopper and Isabella Rossellini in Blue Velvet, where um, he's watching in the closet, right? Is he's watching people have sex. That's what this movie is very much about. It's about watching Gilda. And I mentioned earlier that there's always three people in this movie, because it's always about one person watching Gilda. It's one guy watching Gilda with another guy. Um, and the dynamics of that, they mentioned a couple of times about I'm going to be watching and I'm going to be looking. Um, and Balin sort of looking out the upper windows down there to see what's going on. But there's other references to looking in the movie too. Uncle Pio is tying Johnny's shoes or cleaning his shoes, and he says, "Ah, this is the worm's eye view." Because you can see a lot more from down here. Because he thinks, as a person, as a servant, as like a low servant, he gets to see without being seen, because a lot of rich, powerful people treat servants like they're invisible, which means the servants get to pick up all the gossip and they know all the secrets, because people treat them like they're not even human beings. I'm sure if you've ever worked as a waiter or a waitress in a restaurant or something, you have overheard some crazy shit at the tables of the people that you're serving, because they don't even care that you're listening, because you're not even a real person. You're just like a robot there to bring them food. So Uncle Pio is a bit like that. He's a character who notices things. There's also the cop, who spends the whole movie watching Balin and Gilda and Johnny without being seen. Right at the end of the movie, he says, "Oh, I've been watching you," and I was like, "Where is he?" You kind of see him every once in a while, but like apparently he's been keeping a close enough eye on Johnny and Gilda to know that Johnny loves Gilda and that Gilda loves Johnny, which is something that Gilda and Johnny have been struggling with, but the cop was able to see pretty clearly from his vantage point. So it's a movie about people sort of watching and looking and trying to control. Um, they're trying to exercise a degree of control. The person doing the looking should be powerful, like Balin looking down at the casino. But oftentimes the person looking is not in control, like Johnny, who sort of watches Gilda run off with all these men over and over again. All right, cool. All right, this is going pretty good. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, cool. I don't think this is a huge thing to spend time on, but a lot of this movie spends time on luck, making your own luck. The idea, right, that some people are lucky and says you got to make your own luck. Well, making your own luck in this movie is code for cheating. Johnny makes his own luck because he has loaded dice that will give him the numbers that he needs to win. He's tricked dice. And Balin makes his own luck by bribing people, and he runs a casino where he can control the outcome of bets, because that little guy with the mustache is getting bribed, but it doesn't look like he's getting bribed because he's just winning at the gambling casino, but like actually he's controlling the luck there. And because that comes up as soon as Johnny meets Gilda, is he says you're supposed to he says congratulations to Gilda for being married. And Balin says, oh, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to say congratulations to the man. What are you supposed to say to the wife? Good luck. And so there's a recurring thing. I don't know if I want to spend a ton of time with it, but it's a recurring thing about can you kind of build or make your own luck. All right, cool. This is going pretty good. All right. The really disastrous thing in this movie, this movie is a psychosexual nightmare, as many of the movies are, and in some ways this is more perverse and twisted than Blue Velvet even. The psychosexual nightmare consists of the very complicated position that Johnny is in with regard to Gilda and Balin, because essentially the centerpiece of this movie is both Gilda and Johnny like Balin because of Balin's money. They want the cash. They had these lives where they were unhappy, and they think having access to money and glamour is going to help them. And so they're into Balin for the money, which is interesting because already it suggests that Johnny and Balin, it suggests that Johnny and Gilda are both kind of prostituting themselves in slightly different ways because they're doing what the rich guy wants in exchange for cash. Because it seems like they come from Brooklyn, and it doesn't seem like they come from a lot of money. Because she's essentially a dancer, which is not a job that gets you a lot of money, and Johnny's like a gambler, so that's really doesn't seem like a great job to have. And so they're sort of being controlled by the guy. But what really makes this movie complicated is the centerpiece, really Act 2 of the film, and it's crazy. But Act 2 of this movie is if Balin finds out that Gilda is cheating on him, Balin's probably going to beat up or kill Gilda. They don't say that out loud, but he's an important gangster. He's got a knife and a cane and whatever, and he's a bad guy. They don't quite put it like that, but that's the issue. And the problem is that Johnny, who used to be in a relationship with Gilda, now bumps into her again, right? He's like, oh, let me introduce you to my wife. And he's like, oh shit, this is like my ex-girlfriend. Johnny used to be in a romantic relationship with Gilda, and now Gilda's in a relationship with Balin. But so Johnny kind of hates Gilda. That's his ex. They broke up. But he also kind of loves Gilda because that's his ex and he loved her. And we'll get into why they broke up a little bit later. But what makes the movie really bonkers is the central trajectory of this film is if Balin finds out that Gilda is cheating on him, Balin's going to kill Gilda. And so Johnny decides to let her cheat on Balin, but cover it up. So the entire center point of the movie is Johnny taking Gilda to have sex with people who are neither Johnny nor Balin, because he thinks if he's going to help cover up her cheating so that he can keep her alive because he loves her. But also he hates her, which is why he acts so cruelly toward her. And it's a bizarre thing. And she mentions at one point, like, you need a psychiatrist. This is really messed up with you. Because the screwed up part about this movie is it's almost like Johnny there's something of a sexual turn on into dropping this woman that he's in love with off to have sex with other men. And this opens up a whole other theme of this movie, which is very much about cuckoldry, which I will talk about sort of in the next video. But it's that triangulation. It's Johnny dropping Gilda off and picking her up from her dates with other men. Johnny knowing that Gilda's having sex with other men, but helping her keep it a secret from Balin because he doesn't want her to get murdered, even though he also kind of hates her at the same time. This is a movie, there's a speech in the movie where he talks about love is such an exciting emotion, such a warming emotion, such a powerful emotion, because hate is very similar to love. And you've seen a million movies where couples fight and then a kiss. And it's this idea that you can both extremely hate and extremely love someone at the same time. It's called ambivalence is the word for that. And people have it towards, you love and hate your kids, you love and hate your parents, but this is like sexual ambivalence where he is both lusts after her and is repulsed by her, that he both loves her and hates her at the same time, which is why he's disgusted by what she does with all these other men, but he's going to keep driving her there and picking her up so she doesn't get in trouble with Balin because he loves her and doesn't want her to be killed. And she says, boy, you need a psychiatrist. Like, this is complicated. What's going on with you is messed up. All right, I'll pick it up in the next video.